Hi everybody, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by my channel. The reason why I'm doing this video is because yesterday when I came home, I was listening on the radio to NPR Radio. Big shout out to NPR Radio. That's pretty much the only station that I listen to. I already knew that this was coming because NPR had put out some information on social media asking for gig workers, mainly Instacart, to provide them their input in regards to the pay, some of the discrepancies and other scandals that have been happening on these gig platforms. And I know that many Instacart shoppers had been interviewed by NPR Radio, okay? This is one particular interview that stood out to me. I'm not going to say it rubbed me the wrong way. Let me tell you guys how I feel about this, okay? And it's now, keep in mind that quick disclaimer, this is not to put shade on anybody. I'm not trying to throw stones. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody on anybody's situation, okay? There was an Instacart shopper that was interviewed from NPR. She was sharing her situation. Again, I'm not throwing shade. The shopper that was interviewed was stating that she got paid X amount of dollars per delivery, and now she's only getting paid X amount of dollars, which most shoppers are. She states that now she's living in her car. Now, again, I'm not throwing shade because I have been on some rough times similar to that situation, so I understand. But I have talked to gig workers before that was in the same situation where they were staying in their cars. Like, they were actually living in their vehicles because they couldn't afford to stay in their houses or apartments anymore. And mainly because they were doing gig work full time. But this particular woman was crying. Like, she was literally crying because she was living in a car because Instacart wasn't paying her that much. And we all know how Instacart's pay is now. It's very crappy. It's not good at all. We all know how it goes, so I don't want to stay on that. But I understand her situation because, like I said, I have talked to gig workers that have been homeless and things like that. But she was blaming it on Instacart, the fact that she was living in her car with her kids. Now, once again, I sympathize with that. I'm not in any way trying to make fun of this woman because we come across hard times. But the issue I have is the fact that she was making it seem like it was Instacart's fault at the fact that she was living in her car. Now, I can understand if her situation was because she came across hard times, which a lot of us have. I have too. And she was kind of like forced to live in her car. And I could also understand at the fact that if she was working a typical 9 to 5 and they cut her hours or they cut her pay or whatever, and she was doing great and all of a sudden she had to live in her car, that would be understandable. But this is Instacart. This is a gig company. Like, they don't care. And so a lot of people have relied on Instacart, and I had at a particular season in my life. And and I still do it from time to time. So the way that she was crying on the interview, I was like, really? In my personal opinion, guys, I do not think that it is the company's fault that anybody has to live in terrible situations, because that is up to that individual to make ends meet and also to provide shelter for themselves and for their family. And I totally agree with some of the strikes and some of the things that these gig workers are doing. And I've been saying this for a while now. You have to start to diversify your income. You have to. Like, there's no other choice. But being it that Instacart does not care, along with some of these other gig platforms like Uber and Grubhub and DoorDash, like, all these companies are just letting you know that, hey, it's about the bottom line. It's about money. And the CEOs and these executives are just about themselves. We understand that now. But you can't go blaming another company because you're now living in your car and it's their fault. It's really not their fault. You know what I'm saying? I think that it is the company's responsibility to pay its workers fairly and to treat them fairly and to have fair rules. That's understandable. I think that's fair. But no one is forcing anybody to be on these platforms, y'all. And you guys have seen my videos over the years where I've ranted about a lot of stuff. And I do believe that these companies need to be held accountable for how they treat their workers. But at the same time, you can't force another company to make you stay on the platform and help support your income when they have an opportunity to do something else. And I know some people are in dire straits. They're in situations where they have no child care, they can't afford it, any other situations, which I totally understand because I've been there. But the way that she was crying about it, I was like, girl, come on now. Oh my God, I'm living my car now because Instacart cut its pay. I'm like, come on. I just feel like it's now time to shift. And I know I've been saying this for a while now, but I can feel it and it's so strong, y'all. Some of y'all season is coming to an end, and that's perfectly okay. And when a season closes, you'll start to see other doors open. And sometimes you have to just walk out and step out on faith. You know, faith without works is dead. That is what the Bible says. And so, again, guys, I just have to clarify that in case you guys heard that on NPR with the interview, you know, with the Instacart workers, and the girl was crying and stuff. I was like, okay, that's a little bit extra, but I sympathize with her. But at the same time, I had been in that situation where I put all my eggs in one basket, kinda. But when I got sick and I had issues in my body, you know, I had to kind of make up for that. And so I had my family to kind of step in and to help. But some people may not have that option to stay somewhere else. But I'm not trying to take up for these companies at all in no shape or form. But I think not trying to be proactive to do something else. You know what I mean? And so, again, I don't know everybody's situation, so I can't speak for everybody. But I just want to put that out there, guys. It's not the company's fault that, you know, you're in a particular financial bind. Like you're supposed to maybe look for another job or find another gig to do if it's not anything available in your area, and you're trying to force these companies to pay you right so they can help pay your bills. That's, to me, that sounds kind of childish. And again, I could see if you were working for a company like a regular company, and they started cutting wages and they started doing little things, and of course you would have that right to feel that way. But this is a gig economy. Things change, and even with a regular job, things shift in the economy, so things may not always be steady. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents, guys. And so I hope that you guys are focusing and working on your businesses. Everybody's not called to be an entrepreneur, but for those of you guys that are working on it or even thinking about it or just jotting things down, keep pushing and keep working on it, guys, because I am supporting you. I'm rooting for you. I got your back. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Bye.